4 years ago, I was sleeping in a tent on a beach in Cyprus. I'm pretty sure that was my rock bottom. I was really hopeless and I was really just depressed about where I was at in my life. I was dreaming of a life of freedom, and in many ways I already had that, because being on a beach in Cyprus, it's not the worst place to be, but I was broke, I had no sustainable income, and I was constantly on the brink of returning to my parents' house to get a job that I didn't enjoy and live the mundane life that comes with all of that. Fast forward to today, and I actually get to enjoy a life of true freedom, where I get to do what I want, when I want to do it, where I want to do it, where I get to explore my interests every day, and most importantly, get paid to do that. In this video, I'm going to share with you exactly what I did to go from that situation on the beach in Cyprus to living the life that I am now, so that hopefully you can implement some of the things that I did in your life to get to where you want to be. The biggest challenge for me has always been that I'm a free spirit and I want to do what I want. I want to explore this life and I want to just have a good time without being shackled to other people's schedules and obligations. But I didn't know how to do that whilst also making money. So I either needed to be tied down and miserable doing stuff I didn't want to do in an environment I didn't like, or I would be off exploring but always on the brink of falling back into that aforementioned lifestyle that I really did not want to partake in. My goal had always been to be self-employed so that I could manage my schedule, earn a higher income, and grow as a person, because that's what self-employment and entrepreneurship really is. It's the fastest route that I've found you can take to personal growth and self-development. Now, the funny thing is that throughout all of this period, I was a very productive and skilled individual. I've always been a self-starter. So I've known how to design websites for a long time. Video production, audio production, video editing, copywriting. I always had a lot of high value skills. But ultimately, having skills isn't enough to make money, because having money is a skill in of itself, and that was the skill that I was lacking despite all of the other skills that I had. Now, a few years before all of the stuff I just mentioned happened, I left the closest thing that I had ever had to a real job. It was in 2018. I was living in Vancouver, BC. I went on my own and I decided to start my first business. And at the same time, I was recording an album. So I recorded an album, learned how to market an album with Facebook ads and all of that stuff, invested a lot of time and money into that. And it had some success, but nothing meaningful to the point where I was able to actually survive off of it. I also set up a yoga and meditation business at that time. So I was teaching classes and workshops. I was going into places and giving these presentations to college students and whoever came to my workshops and my retreats. But ultimately, I didn't know how to effectively build and market what I was offering. It didn't sustain itself, it didn't work, so I just gave up. Throughout that period, I was also doing different ad hoc agency jobs. I was actually reading over my emails last night to get some content for this video, and I sent one email to a marketing agency about getting some work with them for food brand activations, and this is what they responded. "Thank you, David. I will be in touch with other activations, as this brand name is hot food and requires a clean shaven face at the moment." So even with that, I was hitting roadblocks. And I'm glad, because that life where you have to conform to these things, it wasn't my cup of tea. It's not how I like to live. Now, I'd always dreamed of having really big impact in the world, and I wanted to make a positive change. And YouTube was always in the back of my mind as a way to do that, but I didn't have the courage, like most people don't. I didn't have much of an understanding. I just thought YouTubers had the best life ever. Anyway, in 2020 January is when I actually uploaded my first real YouTube video. And over the next couple of years, I literally made hundreds of videos, and nothing happened. Now, I was a good videographer and editor. I was technically good at stuff, but I still wasn't having any success. And that's what I want to talk about next, is why you can be the best at so many things but still suck at one thing. So I was over in the UK during 2020, so there was a lot of restrictions, as you might remember, and I couldn't live as freely as I wanted to. And I was trapped in a hostel, cleaning toilets. They didn't even pay me. I got a bed and I needed to clean toilets for 20 hours a week. And that was when I got my first opportunity, my first tiny little breadcrumb of success. And somebody reached out to me having seen some of the videos that I was uploading. That kind of started the ball rolling on this last ditch effort that I had to make this self-employment thing work for me, because I was years into it and I was really, really losing all hope at this point. And from there, things started to change in a big way. So I realized the importance of my surroundings and how that impacted the stuff that came out of me. And when I say stuff, I mean the thoughts that came out of me, the work that came out of me, the schedule and discipline and routine that I embodied was directly impacted by my environment. And I knew that I wanted to have my own place so that I could feel like a proper sovereign, self-employed individual. And that's just what worked for me. That's going to be different for other people. But the point here is I took what I would call a leap of faith. I moved into an apartment that I literally only confidently could pay for the next 2 months. A lot of people would say that that's reckless, that you should have, 6 months of an emergency fund or whatever, but I was just at my wit's end and I just knew that I needed to move. I had my business set up at that point, so I was, gaining momentum toward earning money, but honestly, I was probably earning like a couple of hundred a week and my rent was 800. So needless to say, at this time, like I wasn't going out and getting coffees. I didn't have a car. I was really living frugally, and it was a very tough time because I was constantly on the brink of thinking that I was going to fail again. But what happened next really changed everything. To be honest with you, in life, you never really know what's going to happen, but you don't need to know what's going to happen. All you need to know is that you trust yourself to handle yourself and to navigate the consequences if things don't go according to plan. Because your worst case scenario in your head that stops you from taking a leap of faith probably won't happen. And even if it does happen, you'll figure it out. You're a strong individual. If you've made it this far in this video, I know you're a resilient person that has courage and has the competency to navigate the situations you find yourself in. And I was reflecting upon my previous strategy with YouTube specifically and realized that I had nothing to lose by starting fresh and just trying a new approach. That's the approach that I'm going to share with you shortly in this video. But in a nutshell, I started posting on a channel with no subscribers. I had this sunk cost fallacy because I had another channel which had like maybe a couple of hundred subscribers, and I was like, oh, if I make a new channel, then I'm going to lose off on all those potential viewers. But in truth, I'd been uploading videos on that channel and I would get like 5 views on a video. So I realized I had nothing to lose. And you probably have nothing to lose too. If there's something you're thinking about doing, the thing you think you're losing out on by not doing it, by sticking with what you're already doing, it's probably way less significant than you think. And when we let go of something, we just see what we're letting go of, but we don't see what could happen in stepping into something new. And that's exactly what happened for me with this new approach I took. In January of 2023, I made a video in a completely different way that I'd never done before. I didn't understand how I could have an idea and then communicate that in one way versus another, and then the one way being way more impactful than the other way. So it can be the same idea, but if you don't position it in the correct way, which is what I had done for the hundreds of videos before that, you get no results. And then immediately I just slightly tweaked it, and that video was my first like viral video on YouTube, we'll say, and it got like 30,000 views. And all of a sudden, all of those skills that I had been cultivating over the last 4 or 5 years were being recognized. And the only thing that changed was that I got people to watch the video. So after that one video and 5 years of suffering and struggling, I doubled down and kept on practicing what I was learning. Eventually, when I kept on implementing this, I saw more and more growth and more and more growth and more and more growth, and that gave me more confidence. Confidence loves evidence. If you don't have any evidence that you're a talented, valuable individual, it's probably going to be hard for you to believe that. But the only way to get that evidence is to have the confidence to put it out there and then allow that to be reflected to you. You might go periods where you're not getting any reflections of your power and your value, but if you persist, it's inevitable that you will get there. So now if we fast forward to today, this channel at the time you're watching it has got about 20,000 subscribers, a couple million views across all of the videos. People listen to me and are positively impacted by what I'm sharing in the world. People that are way more successful than me actually contact me and want the advice and insights that I have and the skills that I have. And in addition to the videos that I've shared, I've helped hundreds of people and massive companies to bring awareness to the value that they're giving in the form of products and services, and to bring huge value and inspiring stories to the world. And that's literally how I make a living now. I'm either creating something or I'm sharing the knowledge that I've cultivated over years of being a creator to help other people create what they want to create. Now, the next portion of the video, I'm going to share with you the exact vehicle and framework that I use to do that I share with other people, and you can take this literally and implement it in your life and start seeing growth today. If you happen to be skeptical about earning an income as a creative person in this day and age, I just want to share with you 2 quotes from Naval Ravikant. They really speak to the importance of content creation and being someone that knows how to harness the ideas and knowledge in their mind and share it with the world. The most powerful money makers are actually individual brands. That is to say, you are a brand. I am a brand. We are all a personal brand. It's just a matter of whether we choose to leverage the tools at our disposal, like the internet and social media, to bring more awareness to the brand and the value that we have to offer. Today in society, you get rewarded for creative work. If you create things, you will be rewarded. For too long, people have seen creativity as a thing that makes you either broke, a starving artist, or a strung out rock star. What about just meeting in the middle? What about having enough to live your life, to live happily, to enjoy your day-to-day routine and be healthy? I think that's pretty reasonable. So now we're at the exciting part of the video. This is the part with the actionable steps that will allow you to create the life of freedom, where you get to explore your interests and do it on your own terms. So on the screen, you're seeing what I like to call my creator ecosystem. Basically, this is something that I've built over the years that has allowed me to earn a living the way that I do. So in the center, we have your experience. This includes your life, the things that have happened to you, for you. It includes your interests, the things that you like to do, the things you like to study and explore and practice. And it includes the lessons. So the lessons are the things that you have learned throughout doing all of those things that we just mentioned. The ideas in your head will print you money. They will actually be the thing that gives you the freedom that you desire. And something important to note here is all of the experiences that I had that led me to this point are what led me to this point. We don't need to look back at our lives and think about what went wrong and how we could have been somewhere else at a different time and blah, blah, blah. You're here now and I'm here now, and you can tap into your past experiences, whether you like them or not. You can find some gold within it. And that's what I did. And fundamentally, you know, the time when I was suffering on that beach in Cyprus, I turned that into a video that it's made thousands of euro just from the video alone. It's impacted hundreds of thousands of people, and it's still growing and doing that every single day. People often see that video and then they reach out to me. And of some of those people, I end up mentoring them, or I end up helping them with something else in their business. And that has literally come from an experience that I had and me taking the action to turn it into a story. I'm turning it into a piece of content. And that brings us on to the next bubble, which is content creation. Content creation is where you solidify and alchemize that story into something that other people can digest and appreciate. So many people are starting their videos saying, hey, it's me again. I just was struggling with my cat. They didn't want to drink the water, so I had to throw them out, and now they're meowing. But anyway, so, oh wow, it's hot today. Maybe I'll just go open the curtain. No. I appreciate you're a human who has a cat and it gets hot, whatever. But we need to be mindful of the viewer and how they are going to appreciate or not appreciate that type of behavior. So that's why it's important to understand, you know, how to make a space look nice, understand how to present yourself, understand how to communicate, and respect the viewer. Respect their time, because if you want to have an impact on someone, they got to listen to you. And if they aren't willing to listen to 30 seconds of you talking about the mundane nature of your day, they might not stick around for the good stuff. And that's what you want to impart in your video. And with my content creation strategy, I've actually dialed it down to a 1-day content system. So I literally was come up with an idea, script the idea, and I'll shoot it and I'll upload it in the same day. And lots of videos like that have done very, very well for me and generated a lot of income and a lot of interest in me and my brand and the services and the products that I have to offer. So refining the skill of content creation, telling good stories in a way that looks nice, feels nice, and evokes emotion. Incredibly important. Now, the next step in the framework that I created is the packaging theory. Something I just didn't care about for years, and as a result, I really suffered. In hindsight, I feel like I was an idiot, and I guess I was. Because if people don't click on the video that you make, they're not going to watch the video you make. If they don't watch it, they're not going to get the value. So what we need to do is we need to understand the importance of the presentation of the topic in terms of the thumbnail and the title, and then the beginning of the video. All of these things need to work together to give people the opportunity to watch your video, to realize the value that you have, so that they can reciprocate that value to you. And ultimately, that's what's going to lead to your life of freedom. If people don't click on your videos, people don't watch your videos. People don't watch your videos, you have no revenue coming in. No revenue means you're broke and how can you be free if you're broke? The more value that you give, the more you receive, which gives you more freedom. Again, this is all coming back to freedom. So after I realized the experiences I had, created good content, and then created good packaging for the content, I had a lot of people watching the videos, people wanting to learn more about me. And I gave people the opportunity to connect deeper with me. So I would have links in the description to do mentorship calls, or I would have a newsletter sign up in the description, or different offerings that I had. Like I had a free meditation for confidence and empowerment. And that's how people get to learn more about me. I get to share more value with them. And a lot of those people end up becoming mentorship clients. They end up becoming collaborators in different capacities. And that's a way to cultivate a deeper connection with people. The deeper your connection, the more value you give, the more value you get back, the more freedom you have in your life. Now, the final part and the most important part of this ecosystem is the monetization method. So you can create videos and get millions of views but not have any revenue coming in. And that's a big problem when it comes to freedom. Honestly, you can make videos and get millions of views and make no money. There's plenty of people that are getting loads of views and not making any money. It's not about views. It's about how are you leveraging the views. So you're giving out value. You need to get some back, because you can't just sit around and make videos all day and not get paid. Who's going to pay the rent? You got to pay the rent. So you got to give people an opportunity to pay you so that you can pay the rent. So that's where we come into monetization methods. What we do is we give people an opportunity to give us value in exchange for the value that we've given them and that we're going to continue to give to them. And there's tons of ways that you can do this. Obviously, videos themselves, they generate income just from the AdSense. You can also do sponsorships with different companies within your videos, and that'll give you even more money from the videos that you're already making. And another way, which is the best way, is to actually just take the knowledge in your head to create digital assets, digital products, or services, if you wanted to do consulting or coaching or whatever it is that you do. So let's say 1,000 people watch your video, which is very reasonable to achieve. You could have, maybe 10 of those people hire you for whatever service that you have to offer. So making money is a vital part of it, but we can't make the money if we don't make the content first, because that is what fuels the rest of the ecosystem. So we have to honor and respect each part of it and nourish it so that it can nourish us. And that, my friend, is how you create a life of freedom, where you get to explore your interests, where you get to create things every day and continue learning and sharing that and having a positive impact, reclaiming time and earning a higher income than you might expect if you just had a traditional job. Right, so at the moment, I'm not taking on any new clients. However, in January, I'm going to be launching my biggest opportunity yet. We'll be selecting a limited group of business owners and professionals that want to use advanced high-level content creation and storytelling to create a high income online, all by pursuing your interests. It'll be happening over a 2-month sprint, and after that time, you will be making the most uncontested content in your space. I will be there personally to teach you how to create the best content and how to turn that into a high online income. Now, this is the only time I'm going to be doing it for this price and for this much of my personal time as well. And the reason for that is because this is the case study group. So my objective with this cohort is to turn everybody into the most amazing success story ever. Naturally, this isn't going to be suitable for everybody, so we're quite selective about who we bring in. We have started selecting people already, but you can still apply. If you click the link in the description, you can book a call there and we can have a conversation about it and see if this is a good fit for you. So if that interests you, I look forward to speaking with you. Other than that, have a beautiful day and I hope you enjoyed this video.